practically forgotten, the world in our absence. And I'm going to read the first poem that's almost not a political poem. And the rest are all political poems. I've never really been an activist, but it's never kept me from writing political poems. This is called The World in Our Absence, Sonnet for the Earth's Passing. If all illusions slipped away, if none was left to mourn, the falling of a falling star, the shedding of a tear, dissolving till a dinosaur bone is all that's left to tell. Who was the king of carnosaurs? Which reptile learned how to fly before the dandelion exploded, leaving a stalk in the wind, the grayest ghost, most nebulous form to tantalize the mind? If all illusions slipped away and none was left to mourn, the earth become a smaller sun with rays instead of grass, sunspots the only shadows left in worlds made absolute by the absence of our doubt, the absence of our faith. If all illusions slipped away and only dust was left to search the heavens for itself and form new stars in time, to fall in other skies than this, for other eyes to witness, far away from earthly kin, if all illusions died. And this is one I'm kind of, Frank Parman always liked, and I like it too. It's kind of out of date in terms of technology, but this is called billboard reform. Everybody in the country should be allowed to put up one billboard. Then there would only be some 200-some million billboards in the country. Give or take a few million as the population increased or decreased. No more, no less, 200-some million, give or take a few million. The messages would not necessarily be commercial, although that would be permitted. The point is that everyone would at least have an equal opportunity to say exactly what they wanted once, in letters as large as they wanted, as long as they weren't larger than the billboard. The place would be determined by lot, if too many people asked for the same location. And anyone who wanted to leave their billboard blank or not have a billboard could, anywhere they wanted. Then there would only be about 200 million billboards in the country, counting blank and non-billboards. Wouldn't that be an improvement? Executor, I was actually 4F for asthma, and conscientious objector. It's asking a lot to ask a man and shoot a man, even if we say, for argument's sake, the nation's in danger, the future's at stake. Still killing a stranger's a lot to ask. A man, after all, behind his mask. A man like me, heart set on his task. To cut him down without a qualm is surely a lot to ask. Pulling the trigger without a jerk is one duty, my friend, I'd rather shirk. Better perhaps to hesitate, wait if you will, or procrastinate, than hurry your aim and seal his fate. Even if it turns out his spots are real, it still may be better to be killed than kill. And then I'll read one more poem in that vein. It's called This Land, That Land, Their Land, and Our Land. Or it's got to end somewhere, doesn't it? Land is my land, from the Great St. Louis to the Rio Grande. We've got Alaska, we've got Hawaii, the Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. This land is our land, that land is their land. Once you get south of the Rio Grande, it may be closer than Maine to Texas, but that land was made for them, not us. Though it is reached by a ribbon of highway and shares above us the endless skyway, the Gulf is their Gulf, the Gulf is our Gulf, but their land is theirs and theirs alone. They don't need money to buy more airplanes, they don't need money to buy more guns, they don't need armies that we train for them, or more policemen, they've got enough. They don't need Reagan, they don't need Gaylord, they don't need Nixon or Gene Kirkpatrick. They don't need Sapphire, they don't need Buckley, they had Somoza, and that's enough. This land is your land, this land is my land, from the Great St. Lawrence to the Rio Grande. We've got Alaska, we've got Hawaii, and this land should surely be enough.